Hey guys, I just wanted to share what I'm working on today. It's July 19th, 2024. I think it's useful for a lot of people to talk about workflow. So I use this program right here called Tana. In fact, let me get my cursor going here. You can see Tana. If you need a pass to get in, let me know. I think they offer different passes, and I think they just recently went out of beta, so you might be able to just get in. It's well worth the price. If you compare it to Obsidian or Rome or Notion, you'll probably agree that Tana is just amazing compared to those. So anyway, it's the next generation information management system. What I've done here is I've created a marketing hub, and in one particular brand is Durango Dancing. I teach dance on Friday nights from the fall until late spring. And so what I've done here is I've created, I'm not going to go into the details of how I got these lists, but basically these are my email campaigns. These are the pixels, all the pixels that I'm, basically you could think of them as a funnel, but they're not necessarily just a monetary funnel. They're like downloads, they're like song list and curriculums and things like this. All right, so the one that's important for our purpose here today is funnels. So what I did yesterday was I sat down and I went through all the funnels that I needed to finish to connect. Let me show you here. I have this page called ticketing, ticket pricing, and I'm trying to track whether they bought a single ticket, a 4-week series, or a 5-week series. Sometimes there's 5 weeks in the month. And so unfortunately I have to have a second one, but then there's different types of dances, right? So I have to create a form. It doesn't really matter what my platform is, but I'm using Groove.io. If you're interested in that, let me know. They're just finally at a place where it's not so buggy, so I can easily recommend them, but I don't know what the current pricing is, so before that happens, talk to me, because as of today, there's still a few bugs that are kind of a pain, but that's a whole nother topic. So today, what I'm working on is finishing up this waltz. I've done the single evening, the 4-week, and now I'm working on the 5-week, and that's why I thought I'd record this so you could see the workflow that I have in place. Now, yesterday I mapped out this workflow right here. All right, so think of funnels as a tag, and these are fields that are connected to this tag. Again, I'll do a different video on Tana so you can understand why this is so important, but for me to manage hundreds of or different brands and hundreds of pages, you can see even here, just the Durango Dancing, look at all these funnels. It gets overwhelming, and what Tana does, it gives me this way to manage the fields and all the steps that have to go into, like, this is an order form. So let's talk about my naming convention here. This has taken me years to refine, but basically I want to come up with the name of a campaign first. In this case, it's Durango Dancing, which is the brand, Funnel 35, here's the topic, in this case waltz, and then this is a 5-week series. So that becomes the campaign. I always include that in my URL because I want to know how everything's connected. You'll see in a minute why that's really important. And then I will add a suffix of, in this case, OF for order form. TY, you can see on this one for thank you. I might have V1 for video 1 if it's a video sequence. The point is that you've got this campaign that becomes your foundation, and then you tag on things that help you to know what that page is all about afterwards. All right, that being said, now let's go in and let me show you how I'm going to build this 5-week series. So I've got the page here. Let me go into my, let me show you here. So here's my funnels. This one I duplicated. I took the salsa one and I went in and I said clone it, and it came back and I renamed this one right here. Actually, I'm going to rename it right now. Let me make sure I've got the right one here. Yeah, right here. So this one I renamed, and so I'm going to click on it, but notice these are the duplicate that I made, so I need to rename those. So let me do that right now. So here's where it gets really cool. I can go in here, and I know this is an order form because I see the O there. I'm just going to copy this and paste it into my naming slug and so on. And I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to save it here. And I'm going to click on that page and make sure, actually I'm going to click on this one and then this one, because this page looks identical to another one. I want to make sure I'm still not on the old one. So then right away what I want to do is change this to Waltz. Actually, let me just do this. All right, and then I'll change wherever I need to inside of my text. All right, and that way it's tailored, and I'll never have to make these again. I just have to modify anything if I want to update them some year. Right now I'm not interested in naming or updating them, so I don't have to worry about that. All right, so now what I can do is publish this. I've got my URL, which I'm going to use often, so I'm going to paste that in here, and I just want to verify that this looks good, and it does. Now I want to go in and do the same thing with my thank you page. I'm going to edit, and then I'm going to close this one right here. I'm going to go to my Waltz 5-week thank you page. I'm going to copy this right here, because this has the TY on it. I'm going to paste it there. Interesting. Oh. All right. Somehow I got the URL attached to it, and I don't want that. I don't know how that happened. Let's see here. How do I change that? Let me just delete. All right. Let me start this over with copy. All right, so now you get to see me rebuild this because somehow I pasted the link in there and I don't know how that happened. And then I'm going to assign the tag to it like I did here, funnel page. All right, and so now I get to go through and I'm going to say this is my Durango Dancing brand. I'm going to use this from here to here is my, whoops, gosh, my keyboard, or my fumbling of my keyboard. Copy, campaign, let's see here. I've got the microphone in a place where my typing is interrupted, so I'm a little bit wonky here. All right, so now let's recopy this. Copy here, paste it here. Now we're in business. Copy, paste. All right, so this looks good. I'm gonna hit save. So now my Waltz 5-week thank you page is connected, and my Walt's 5-week lesson page is connected. All right, so now, which one is this, the thank you page? So let me grab this URL because I'm going to need it several times. I'm going to copy it here. I'm going to paste it here. The other thing I do is I like to have a page order because Tana right now has a little bit of a difficulty sorting some things, but that's a whole nother conversation. But for now, I'll keep it simple. I'm also going to say what kind of page type is this, and it's a thank you page. So that starts telling me immediately that some of these fields I will use. See these right here? These are hidden fields. I might use some of those. I know on a thank you page I have an image, so I'm going to click on that, and now image shows up here, and I'll paste. In fact, let me just do it right now because it's right in front of me. All right, so I'm going to copy this image right here. Now what's cool about this is I'll never ever have to worry about what image and did I use for this thank you page, because I can immediately drag it out of Tana into a folder and immediately upload if I ever have to rebuild this page. Now I'm not going to bore you with copying and pasting all of these things, but I'm going to fill these in here as I work my way through, but I'll do that later so I don't bore you. But let me just verify real quick that my looks like there's an exception here. I'm not going to worry about it because frankly rarely do people scroll down that low, but if I was really anal about this, I would just align everything to the left and hit save, but I don't want to be that anal. I also want to verify, because this is a copied page, I want to verify that this is connected to my ticket, which is not. So I'm going to select here and I'm going to say, let me go to tickets. I'm going to open the new tab when they click on it, and I'm going to say save and publish. All right. So what we've got here, now I've got, so I've got this set up. I just want to make sure my order form is also set up this way. Yeah, so this would be the first page. This is an order form. Excuse me. And now I want to set up my Google Tag Manager code. So I go into Google Tag Manager. I already set up the structure. So I've got funnels, Durango Dancing funnels. You can see Ed Ferrigan Coaching funnels, Family Constellation, Great Life Blueprints. Now what's interesting with Google, these are the websites, everything else is the funnels. So on the websites, so like let's take Durango Dancing, I'm going to have certain tags that I won't have on my funnel pages, because when I put it on the website, in this case with Groove, my pages are literally just a subset of this root. And so because Google is populating the code and the pixels at the root level, I don't have to worry about putting that code in again at the, let me hit exit here, at the funnel level, because these pages have the primary domain before them. This is just the extension related to the page itself. Hopefully that makes sense. So in other words, in Google, at the main level, I put all my main pixels in, including my main Facebook pixel, the pixel that Facebook wants you, the generic one. Let me look at this for a second. Yeah, the standard event name. So this is like just telling Facebook somebody landed on a page, but it's not giving them the actual event that happened other than just a page view. Let me look at that. right here, page view. So that's all that's doing, but that's at the site level. Now let's go in and look at, here's Durango Dancing Funnels, and we're working on a Waltz 5-week series, which I already created this container. I just go up here, for those of you who don't know, and you say create container. It comes up, it asks you for a name. It asks you, let me just show you that so you can see that. It asks you for a name, and then it asks you if you want to be on the web or one of these other things. I always pick web. So now let's go in and look at that 5-week series and what tags. So we don't have any tags yet set up, but we do have our Google Tag Manager code. That needs to get placed on the page level. So here I am on this order form page. I'm going to click over here in Groove in particular. You'll have your own place on your own website. I'm going to say tracking codes. I'm going to delete these other codes that were placed because I did a duplicate. And I'm going to save this. I'm going to go over to my other one. Groove has a little bug right now that I don't need to get into it, but I basically need to say, I need to delete these, save it, and then go back to it, because for some reason it won't let me add something right away. Excuse me. All right, so let's go back to this one. Now we're ready to add our tracking code. So let's go here. We're going to say copy this. We're going to say paste in the header. And then we're going to go here and we're going to say copy. And we're going to say paste in the header. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, and here's a little trick. I'm going to say Durango Dancing funnel, which one we work on, 35. So now I know if this code came from Google, the exact funnel code that I was working on. Now, as long as you put that within these brackets, you're good. Don't put it down in here because that will mess up the code. We just want it in that title. Now, I've already added my other code, this body code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit select all, copy, and I'm going to save this. I'm actually going to publish it. So it takes a while, so I get in the habit of publishing. So now I'm going to go into this thank you page. I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to paste that code here first because it has that F35. And then I'm going to scoot over here and I'm going to grab this code from Google Tag Manager. Now I know both of those pages have got my Google Tag Manager code. So I'm going to click that box. So that was the order form, and the thank you page also has it. So now I know, based on my system here, that Google Tag Manager code has already been loaded. All right, so now let's go back to the main page. Now I need to add my market plan. So in market plan, I know I'm going to name it this right here, this 5-week series. I'm going to go into my market plan account. Click off that. I'm going to look over here at my main thing, and I'll tell you in a minute what this does. I'm going to duplicate this 5-week series, even though I don't need to because it's pretty straightforward that they're identical. I'm just changing some words and some code. So I'm going to just say paste. That came from right here, and everything else looks good. I'm going to save that. I'm going to go to that page, the Waltz 5-week series. You can see it says it right here. And now my pages are going to reflect the duplicate. So I'm going to go into my copy thank you page. I'm going to replace this link right here. And now it's going to have the thank you page for my Waltz. And see, this is the cha-cha because that's what I duplicated. And now I'm going to paste that code, and I'm going to delete that right there. Now it'll tell me what page is actually here. Now the way Market Plan works, I can hit my control key and paste a thumbnail. So I'm going to paste the whole URL. I'm going to say grab. I'm going to close this, and that will give me a picture of that URL right there. So that's great. Now I'm going to go, let me mark that as done. Now I'm going to go into my order form. I'm going to repeat the same thing. I'm going to copy this URL. Copy. I'm going to go into my page here. I'm going to say paste, view, and I'm going to say paste, and I'm going to delete everything that's, I just want this unique page information right here. All right, so then I do the same thing. I click Control Click, I say custom thumbnail, I paste that full URL in there, I say grab, and you can see here it gave me a little piece of a thumbnail so I can tell whether or not it's hooked up. Now what I want to do is I need to add this, go into my workspace, go into tags, and I need to add a tag here for my market plan for this unique funnel. And here's the code. So I copy that, I go over here, and I say new, I'm just going to call it market plan. I'm going to say custom. I'm going to paste that code. I'm going to say support document, all pages. This is a very common setup. So a lot of the code that you're pasting from some of your software, you're going to do it exactly the same way. Now I'm going to say save it. All right, so now I'm ready to add my Facebook event codes. Let me tell you what that looks like. So I'm going to actually check this box here. So you'll notice here in my system, I've got type Facebook event pixel. Because it's blank, that means I haven't done it yet. And I'm on the order form page. So whenever somebody lands on my order form page, that's an initiating a checkout. So I'm going to say new, I'm going to say Facebook dash, I'm going to copy just the part of this code. Actually, I like to use just here, copy, and just to make sure I click on this and say, is this page live? Yes, it's looking good. So I know that I'm not copying bogus code that I might have modified or changed. So now I go into this Google Tag Manager. I'm going to tap that and I'm going to say initiate checkout. So I'm using the naming convention that Facebook uses. All right, so here's where it gets kind of cool. So I go click. I don't have the one I want here, so I'm going to click on this Discover More in the gallery, and then I'm going to click on this magnifying glass or search glass, and I'm going to say Facebook. And here's a pixel. It says Facebook pixel. I'm going to choose that. I'm going to say add to workspace, add, and then I'm going to create a pixel. Now I could paste my pixel here, but that means every time I create a Facebook event, I would have to go find that pixel, but I'm going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to say Facebook Durango Dancing pixel dash, and I'm going to go to that pixel. Here's my Durango Dancing. I'm going to say copy to clipboard. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to paste that pixel, and then I'm going to click on this variable configuration. I'm going to click constant, and I'm going to paste that pixel in there as well. So now every time I want that pixel, I just go here and I select it right there. You just close that. And so I never have to look up the pixel again, is my point, because there's going to be times I'll probably be adding more pixels here. But this, so now we need to choose which event, and in this case it's initiate checkout. Then I go down here and I say, I want this part of the URL, copy, I'm going to paste it here. You can choose whatever you want here. This just helps me to know, okay, that was an order form, so that tells me it's an initiate checkout. It tells me if I'm in the right funnel and what funnel I'm in. So to me, it's just easier to paste that as the name. And then I'm going to say page view, and I'm going to say some pages, and then I'm going to click on page URL and then paste that part of the URL. That way, when Facebook lands on this page, it's going to trigger this event. And let's see, we're on checkout. So yeah, so we're good. So now it's done. That particular one is done. So when Facebook lands, when a client lands on this page, it's going to fire this pixel of this order form as an initiate checkout. Let's do another one. So we're going to do, this time we're going to say my thank you page is the equivalent of a purchase. Yeah, so I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to say copy. Sometimes I like to just click on this to make sure it's working correctly, and yes, it is, obviously. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to say new. I'm going to call it Facebook. This is my thank you page, so I'm going to hit here and I'm going to say purchase. So you can see that I know that this is a Facebook event pixel. So now I'm going to click here. We're going to go through the same thing we did earlier. We're going to say look for Facebook. Look for this pixel down here. Choose template. Because we've already picked it once, it took us right to this pixel. So I'm going to say I want this pixel. And this time I want purchase to be done. Now if you had a lead magnet funnel and this was the thank you page, you would pick lead instead of purchase. All right, now we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to say, I want you to get triggered when this particular URL contains this information. Save. And now we're done. So we've got, when a person lands on this page, it's going to fire this purchase pixel. All right, now we got to send it over to our website. And so I'm going to say new. Whoops, wrong one. I'm going to say submit. I'm going to say added market plan and 2 Facebook event pixels or code, whatever you want to call it. It's up to you. All right, so now I know it's going to take some time to push that out to my website into this funnel, but I know that now this is ready to go with Facebook. And I'm sure I haven't figured out yet how to do it with Google Ads, but I will do a video on that as well when I'm ready to do that. All right, so we've got our market plan done. So what market plan is going to do now, every time somebody lands on, like, if I go in and I'm sorry, let me go to the off thing here. If I go in and I start creating ads, those ads are going to have links, and it's going to show me that ad sent people here. I can also have Google ads and so on. I can have, like, here's my social links. I can have links on my social pages and create links within here. And then it will start tracking everything that's being sent. I can even drag out a, let's see here. I want this one here. I can bring out a blog planner. So if I write blogs, I can connect it here, the different blogs that are connected. I can go in here and paste my blog information here. Oh, no, this is looking for my URLs of my blog. So basically it's going to link my blog so I can tell what traffic is coming from my blogs and so on and so forth. So hopefully that makes sense. I've got other videos in my YouTube channel that relate to market plans so you can get more details. All right, so now what have we done? We're over here on Groove. This has got the pixels on it. It's got the order form. It's got the thank you page. Actually, what's missing right now is the order form. So I'm going to go over here to my products. What we're looking for is a Waltz 5-week series. So I'm going to duplicate this particular one. I guess they don't want me to do it that way. So I'm going to click here. Let's see. So we're Waltz 4 weeks. I'm going to say Waltz 5-week series. Actually, I'm going to go like this. I like to always do this because I know it's always going to be identical when I do that. That's why I love having Tana set up ahead of time. So I'm going to say clone product. It'll show up down here. You can see this right here. So I'm going to say edit. I'm going to work my way through this. I don't need this for the product name, but I do want it for my internal name. And I'm going to change this to 5 weeks. All right. And I'm going to say save. I'm going to say pricing. What's my pricing? Okay, this is the wrong. I'm going to copy and paste this here. So you got to be careful when you duplicate things to go in and make sure you modify all the correct. So I'm just going to delete those out. So I know that these show on the order form when a person's checking out, so I don't want it to have this other stuff here. But I know this is what this is. And this is also a 5 week, so it's $45. All right. Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to delete that. All right. I'm going to say save. And then I'm going to work my way through this checkout. Form fields, those are all correct. Do I want the express? Yes. So in Groove, if somebody has already ever purchased from me, it'll save that data and populate, so they don't have to type it in, which is really good if they have a mobile phone because it's a pretty small screen, as you know. All right, so I'm looking good here. I already know the other things are fine. So I'm going to hit save. I'm going to go to the next. Here we go. All right, so my sales page is actually my order form. So I'm going to copy that. All right, here we go. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it here. And then my thank you page, delete that, is Waltz, make sure I'm in the right spot, 35, 5-week series, paste, there's no refund period, support info, it's my email, so that looks good, that looks good, I'm going to hit save. So now we're ready to go. I'm going to say no on the bump because I don't want to. Actually, this is a good time for a bump because the 5-week series is more of a commitment, and I'm imagining people might be home. They won't be at the actual event itself most of the time. So anyway, I'm going to test this. I'm going to see if they take me up on my private dance offer. At least, if anything, it gives me exposure. So I'm going to say yes, put the bump in there. All right, so now I've already created my Facebook conversion API. So I'm going to say yes. And this is different from what we did in Google Tag Manager. This is something that you do inside of, where'd I go here? Inside of Groove and inside of Facebook. So I'm just going to say yes to that. I'm going to verify we're good here. This looks good. I'm going to say save, fulfillment. There's nothing. There's no there's no membership or download. I'm not working with affiliates on this. And now I'm going to take this code right here and I'm going to paste it on my order form page at the end of my Google Tag Manager code. I'm going to hit save, so I know that's done. Save and exit. All right, so now I can get my code. You only have to do this once. I can get my code, check out links. I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call it this. Copy. I'm going to name it the 5-week series. I'm going to use a multi-step checkout. Now the reason I do that is because if this person has never been in my system and they put in their email first and they quit halfway through, I'm still going to collect their data. And then I can set up a follow-up campaign if they abandon cart. So I'm going to say save next, enable. I don't really need to, but I think it will automatically do that when I click that. I'm going to save as next. Look and feel, that looks fine. Let me see, product image, form fields. Yeah, I think we're good here. Save and next. Yeah, this is what I was wanting to make sure. I don't want these clicked because that's too much information for them to add if they're using their mobile phone. So I'm going to just say save and next. No passwords to collect. No CSS. And then I'm going to click on embedded into your own page. I can actually, Groove will create a form that stands alone, but it's really like bare bones, very sterile looking. Or I can create a pop-up modal, but I want to have a page like this where all this code and I'm tracking, I'm doing all that stuff, because sometimes when you use pop-ups you can't track it. So I'm going to use the embed into your own page. I'm going to say copy, and then I'm going to go to that page, this page right here. I'm going to hit there. I'm going to say edit this code. I'm going to select all. I'm going to delete it because remember that came from a duplicate from another one. I'm going to hit paste. I'm going to say save. I'm going to publish. And now I'm going to say close. And that should be it. And that should work. So let's test it out. I'm going to hit publish one more time. And let's see what happens here. So this should say $45, 5-week series, Waltz, 5-week. We're golden. So now I can go back to my original page and my ticket page. Go down to my Waltz 5 weeks and connect it. Whoops. And connect it right here. Go to a page, open in a new tab, and let me scroll down to the bottom. Waltz 5-week order form. There it is. I'm going to say update, save, publish. Right? Now let's test it. I'm going to go here. So in the last couple days, I've done that process for every one of these. So you can see it's kind of tedious, but the good news is once it's done, I don't have to do it again. See the 4-week, yeah, 35, that looks good. So what I'll do is I'll go through each one of these buttons and make sure they're all connected. See, this one here's got a bugaboo. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to close this. I'm going to look at this page right here, and I'm going to reconnect it because I have a feeling I know what happened. I changed the changed the link. I think I know what's happening here. So let me publish this again. And this time, let me hit refresh. So sometimes when you cache, it contains old code, and we don't want that. So I'm going to hit a refresh here. And now let me test this. If it starts acting up, there's something else going on that I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. So I think what it needs to happen is it probably needs to take a little bit longer to update. But anyway, so I've got a bugaboo here. I probably will maybe even kill that button right here and put in a new one and then reset it, but I'll do that later. All right, so hope that was useful. Again, I'm just trying to illustrate that you need a workflow, a system in place. Tana is amazing. Just to give you a sense here, you can see that I have different brands. I'm able to set up, like this is a field called brand assets. I can set up the brand. That's kind of a redundant field here. Let me get rid of that. I can drag in my logo so I can immediately, the fonts that I'm using, the hex codes, any banners I've created, and then a biography. I can do the same thing with all of them. So there's a way to set this up. And at some point, I know there's a way I can capture this whole hub and sell it to people so they can fill in their own stuff. And if you're interested in that, let me know. I'm not quite at the place to do that yet, but I'm still refining. But let's take, for example, this Durango Dancing. Here's my brand assets. I actually need to fill some of these in, the fonts I haven't established yet. But here's the website. So each web page shows up here, and I place what's on that, even details like that. I've got a campaign summary, so I know all the campaigns. Now what's missing here is my 5-week waltz and a few other ones, so I need to update this because yesterday I exploded and just did a ton of them. Yeah, so this would be the equivalent of campaigns, right? And I can look at each one of those. Now I need to go into this one and I say, yeah, I've done market plan, I've done that, and I've added all of these to the website. So see, now I know because of what I've worked on, and I think I did this one earlier, I can do the same thing. So now there's no doubt in my mind, because I've checked this off, and I maybe even sometimes make notes here, whether or not that particular funnel is completed or not. Now the reason I have it pixeled because there's a lot of pixels on these pages, so I like to do them separate. And then of course your funnels will have all of your web pages. So I've got, let me go here to trauma healing, and we'll look at a campaign funnel. You can see some of them are longer, of course. Here's one that's pretty long. Here's one that's very long. But you just work your way through, and then you always know like what's done and what's not done. Okay, so I know this is an opt-in page. I'm still refining this this tag right here, and that's why I'm not ready to sell it yet. But once I get this refined and it's a streamlined flow for anybody that's generic, then I'll be happy to part ways and sell it for a small fee. And then what you'll be able to do is just open these up and start doing exactly what I've done here. So it's a beautiful system. I can have all my email campaigns. I'll go into detail, but what's really cool is, watch this. I can hit, let me actually shrink this and make it here. So watch, I can hit Control here and open in a new panel, and then I can get rid of that, but I'm not going to. Then what I can do is scroll up, and here's the email. So imagine lining up all of your emails side by side and being able to read them in the sequence that they are. right? So very cool. It's just an amazing tool. Once you get the hang of it, you get your habits rebuilt around this system. It's quite amazing. So anyway, I don't want to go any further because the whole goal was to share some of my workflow with you and to show you what I'm up to, and hopefully you'll learn a few things. Be sure to comment, be sure to subscribe. I'm going to be posting a lot more of these. I've been negligent the last year because I've been, as you can see, working on so many brands, but now they're all built out and I'm ready to start marketing, so I want to expose you guys to some of the things I'm doing next. And not that I'm an expert, but you can learn right along with me. All right, infinite blessings, and hope your business is doing amazing. Bye for now. Be sure to subscribe, and be sure to hit the like button. That helps with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you.